Since almost a week, an important immigration topic has been trending, and many people are getting affected. Whether it is DUI or any kind of ticket or violation, they are getting revocation notices, and many of the students are getting visa terminations. So to address this, to help more students and many people who got affected, many NRIs, we're doing this session with Somreddy Law Group. So attorney Zibran Muhammad and Somreddy Law Group's founder Santosh Garu will be joining us here shortly. Hi Zibran.
Good.
Hi, how are you?
I was trying to figure out how to access it.
No worries. I'm kind of trying to find you, but I couldn't find. So finally I found you. Perfect. So let me start with small introduction. Hello everyone. So currently we are talking with Somreddy Law Group. We have Santosh Somreddy, who is the founding attorney with Somreddy Law Group, and Zibran Muhammad. He is also an attorney who practices in family law and criminal law. Santosh Garu extensively practice in immigration, all 50 states in immigration in United States, and also they're a full service law firm who practices in multiple areas, whereas they are based out of Virginia. And Santosh Garu, if I missed anything, please add on to this.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Santosh. I'm the founder of Somreddy Law Group. I have with me my colleague Zibran Muhammad. He is a former public prosecutor, criminal attorney. He handles criminal law, family, and immigration, of course, especially when it comes to issues surrounding deportability, removal, criminal defense, and all that stuff. Right? I practice immigration, litigation, corporate employment law, and a little bit of criminal too. Okay, so I know there are a lot of. Okay, before we start, a small disclaimer. Anything that we discuss here should be construed as a friendly advice. This does not create an attorney-client relationship, right? So if whatever we discuss here is not confidential because everybody can hear you, and it does, since it's not, there is no attorney-client privilege here, please do not mention your names as much as possible. Okay? So I know there are a lot of students, like since yesterday, we have been bombarded with a lot of emails from students whose service has been terminated. And they're all in panic mode. So please do not, first of all, please do not panic. Okay. We will figure out a solution because what the government did this time is completely different from what what is the regular norm. Right. So in this case, anyone who was previously charged with any crime, it didn't matter whether it was a DUI or if it was a shoplifting case or whatever. Right. So they have issued, like anyone who had gone through the fingerprints, right, who was previously arrested. Right. So whether they were convicted or dismissed didn't matter. So they sent, they looked at the records of all the students, tallied with the criminal records, and if they had any criminal like arrest, right, any criminal record or an arrest, they terminated their service. Okay, which is completely absurd. Okay, the government went overboard on this one. I'm sure that somebody will be filing a lawsuit against this one, and it could we could get a stay, but it will take some time. Now we don't have too much of time, so the students have to act fast because especially for those whose service has been terminated, right?
So here we are seeing two different cases. For some of the students, their service is active, but their visa is revoked. They're getting the revocation emails. And other set of students, their visa is revoked, and also their service is also terminated. So so the USCIS is communicating with the university, and university is terminating the service.
It's not the, okay, so let me explain this one. Okay, until a few days ago, typically whenever a student was charged with a crime, the Department of State used to revoke their visas, which is normal.
Correct.
Right? So because if the person is charged with a crime, they usually used to revoke the visa, but there have been instances where we were able to get it reinstated, right? This case, like, but that would not have affected the person's status in the US, right? Not that, if a person is about to graduate, now he cannot graduate because he's not longer in status. They cannot use their OPT. They cannot continue studying. This has a major impact if their service is terminated. Now, what's happening is USCIS is automatically terminating their service. It's not the school who is doing it. It is not the school who is doing it, right? They are claiming that it's a status violation since they got arrested. Just because a person got arrested doesn't mean that they had a status violation itself, right? And not all crimes are equal, right? Some crimes could lead to deportability, inadmissibility, and all. But even there also, there are certain exceptions that are available. Now, in this case, what it is, they have done it blank, like they have issued a blanket statement, right? So anyone who got charged with a crime, they are pretty much revoking, they are terminating their service, which is going much overbroad. Okay, but until we have an injunction from any court, we have to make sure that you are in status, right? Typically, a student has 15 days to leave the country, or you need to apply for a reinstatement, right? I highly recommend that students apply for reinstatement instead of leaving the country, because once you leave the country, I don't know if you have the chance of getting back into the country, right? In this situation. So as much as possible, try to apply for reinstatement. So for doing that, what you need to do is, first of all, get a certified copy of your criminal record, right? Maybe your case got dismissed, right? Maybe it was a nola prosecution, whatever, right? Get those records and then apply for a reinstatement. Zibran, since you are a public prosecutor and you have dealt with all this stuff, I want you to.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you so much for arranging this. I know many students are really worried, and I'm really sorry you guys are going through this. We've received so many emails. It's unbelievable. So I'm going to quickly recap. Most students already know what SEVIS is, but I just want, for those of you who may not know, let's quickly recap, right? So SEVIS is a student and exchange visitor information system. It's a web-based database that manages the student exchange visitor program. The way it works is SEVIS helps the Department of Homeland Security and Department of State track and monitor anyone who's on the status of F visa, M visa, and J non-immigrant visa, and their dependents while they're in the United States. So anytime anything happens to a student, normally university would make sure that they update in the system, so Department of Homeland Security or anybody would have access to it. Now what's going on is, if you have violated any sort of, or if you have been, let's say if you were pulled for reckless driving, or if you were charged with DUI, before, state did not used to share this information with Department of Homeland Security and all of that. But now all these databases are mixing, and if you have fingerprints on the record and stuff, now anything you have done is going to them. So now they're matching, seeing if any student has ever been, forget about found guilty, any student has ever been charged with any criminal activity, whether it's reckless driving, or like not speeding, not traffic offense, but any sort of a criminal activity, reckless driving, DUI, any petty larceny, any other offenses, domestic violence, anything like that. Not found guilty, just charged. Okay. If their cases was dismissed, even in some instances, if it was expunged, doesn't matter, because now they can see that you had some sort of criminal record. They automatically are sending out emails and letting university knows, hey, this person, we're revoking their visa. We're, you're getting a message from SEVIS that you're no longer in the system. University is obligated to inform you, because your status is no longer valid. You cannot be a student. Some students, they only have one semester left and they're going to graduate. And, maybe they have jobs lined up. So their dreams are being shattered because they have, somehow maybe there was a mistake and you were charged, and then ultimately your case was dismissed. So you haven't been found guilty but unfortunately, this drastic action is being taken against you. So anyone who has received any email or anything, please reach out to us. We don't want to discuss your specific case in this call because that would be not good, you know. We don't want to give you personal information. But reach out to us. We will try to help you as much as we can. We will try to see, Santosh will try to file reinstatement for your visa or for your reinstatement of your status. But we will, a couple of things you need to do immediately. First, get certified copy of your any of the charges, whether they were dismissed, whether you were found guilty, anything. Okay, that's number one. Number two, contact us and send us this. We are getting bombarded with calls and emails. We're going to try to accommodate as many students as we can. You know, our time is precious. If there are some students who, you know, we understand, and Santosh has always tried to help students. He's done that in the past, and we're going to try to do it now too. So we're going to try to see if we can help them, you know, as much as we can. But of course, our time is limited, so we will have to charge you for this service. Number three is if you are still on probation, let's say you have been found guilty of something or not found, you know, but you're on probation. Before you go to your probation appointment, please reach out to us, because we are seeing a lot of people who are going to their probation office. They're getting arrested and by ICE and putting on deportation proceedings. So it's better to take these actions, and it's better to act now than wait to the last minute. And you know, if your status is invalid, the longer you stay without a status, the harder it gets. So act now. Yes, we don't want you to panic, but it is a scary situation for so many people. And I'm really sorry that they're going through this, but you know, we have to do what we can. And I'm going to tell you this right now. First, it was for anyone who was here illegal. Okay? Now is anyone who's here on an immigrant visa with, you know, any sort of criminal pending charges, whether they were found guilty or not. Next is going to be green card holders. Anyone who's a green card holder who has any criminal charges, I have a feeling they're going to come after that. So just putting precaution. So it's better to get your things in order.
Yeah. So
Got
for
it.
all these students,
So let me ask this.
yeah, I'm sorry. You want to go ahead or? Yeah. For
Yeah,
all these students,
yeah. So
team,
let me ask.
please, first
Sorry.
of all, gather this because you don't have too much of time now, right? You either have to leave the country or apply for reinstatement. So if you plan to apply for reinstatement, get a I-20, have your bank statement or sponsor statement ready, and then also get a certified copy of your court records, right? And then whether you get it in a time manner or not, go ahead and apply for reinstatement ASAP. Do not wait any longer, because now that the government has all your information, right? And if you do not leave on time and do not file for reinstatement at least, then there's a chance that ICE might come and arrest students. So just be careful. Okay, don't take any chances. You either have to leave or apply for reinstatement.
Anyone who has travel plans, I would highly recommend to postpone it. Make sure that you know there are two separate things that are happening. One, before your visa was getting revoked. Okay, if you're still in the country, visa is to enter and exit the country. You're still in the country, even if your visa is revoked, your service is valid. You're still on status. But now, if your service is also deactivated, and you're getting an email from university, hey, you cannot be a student anymore. Now you're out of status, so you cannot stay in the country. There are some time period, but you have to act immediately. Get all the documents, as Santosh Garu said, and you know, let us try to see what we can do to help. We are going to try to file for reinstatement. Because there's so many students, we are going to try to see what we can do to file motions and stuff. Well, Santosh Garu is going to take steps, and his team is going to take steps.
Yeah.
Anything with criminal stuff, I'm happy to help.
Yeah.
Awesome.
In case if it doesn't work,
so
then
here
it's
are
better like
two different aspects. One is immigration, the other one is criminal, right? So here, these people have two different things. One is immigration side, and the other one is criminal side. So they have to consult
Well,
both the sides, right? Both the
basically,
attorneys.
what we would do is we will write a memo to, like, we have to look at their criminal record. Yes, having being a criminal lawyer will help definitely, right? So we have to look at their criminal
Okay.
record, and we have to clearly explain why they are not uh, inadmissible, right? So,
All right.
Understood.
and then then we'll explain why their service should not have been terminated in the first place, and then
Yeah.
request for reinstatement.
Yeah. Just, I'm seeing a
Got it.
lot of comments. So anyone who has a speeding ticket, as long as it was not a reckless ticket, because a lot of time reckless tickets in a lot of states is considered a misdemeanor violation. Only if you have a speeding ticket, then you don't need to worry. If you're still concerned, you don't know whether it is a misdemeanor or not, reach out to us. We'll try to answer it. So speeding ticket, no problem. You're fine. Don't worry. You don't. There's a lot of stress in this world already. Don't over stress. Number one. Number two. And some people are asking, how can we reach you? Please email info@swamireddylaw.com. We will try to accommodate as many people as we can. But again, we are getting bombarded. And, obviously people are panicking. And I'm sorry you guys are going through this. We're going to try to help as much as possible. Someone says, how about a car accident? Car accident, if you got a reckless ticket because of car accident and you were found guilty, again, that would be a misdemeanor. So reach out to us about these specific issues. We're going to try to help as many as we can.
Especially if I've left the
Right.
crime
Perfect.
scene, then it's a problem.
A hit and run, that's different.
Yeah, hit
That's
and run,
not
it's
that's
going to be
not
a
just a
problem.
car accident.
Even domestic violence cases. And then also, somehow, like, somebody just posted that their visa has been terminated, but service is still active. If the service is active, you have nothing to worry about. But if you believe that your service could be terminated, and if you have the option of moving to a different status, then I recommend doing it at this point of time. So, for example, if somebody is on F1 status, and if they have an option of applying for H4EAD, and they have been charged with some crime before, then it's maybe it's time for them to consider filing for a change of status right away. Okay,
Guys,
instead of
Okay.
waiting until their service has been terminated.
guys,
But again,
I'm seeing
this
a lot
applies
of
to only.
messages from people. I apologize, Santosh. A lot of messages from people saying, how about driving without a license? How about driving without insurance? So every state is different. Some states have certain thing as criminal, certain thing as traffic violation. We would have to check in order to answer those questions. Okay. Someone says, don't panic. Indian people try to get you panic. Listen, we're not trying to get you panic. We're saying don't panic, but at the same time, do your due diligence. So we're going to try to help as much as we can.
Yeah.
Right.
And
So let
also,
me ask
please
this.
be
Many
very
people
careful with
who are in
insurance
their
fraud.
final semester.
Zibran, like, maybe I think it's time to explain about the insurance fraud too. Case that we are
Yeah.
dealing.
Yeah. So, guys, okay, Asian people, we try to save as much money as we can. There's some places it's great to save. There's some places it's better to spend so you don't spend more. We recently had a case where someone innocently, um, a stone fell in the car, like on the windshield, and cracked the windshield. So they had a Progressive Insurance. They called Progressive Insurance to file a claim. When they called, they learned their windshield insurance claim deductible is $1,000. So they're like, oh, I can get my windshield fixed for less than $1,000. I don't need to file a claim. So he tells the insurance company that I don't want to file a claim. Okay. However, the call is recorded. Notes are made that the call was made about the windshield. Innocently, this guy goes on Amazon, orders a repair kit, and repairs the windshield himself. Just totally fine. Perfect. I would probably do the same thing. Why spend $1,000 if I don't have to? Then 8 months later, the windshield was again beginning to crack because it was done DIY, do it yourself. Then he calls the insurance company. First, he goes online, changes the deductible from $1,000 to $0. Then he calls the insurance company and says, hey, I want to file a claim for my windshield. They ask him, when did this happen? He says, 4 days ago or whatever. But they see in the system that 8 months ago, he had made similar type of claim. So then the insurance company goes and calls, the county or 911 or whatever and files an insurance fraud against him. Now, something like that, his case is hopefully taken care of, is going to get dismissed because it was so stupid. And I feel that the guy was genuinely innocent, you know. But even simple situations like that can get you in trouble. The reason for mentioning this is because if you were charged with something like that, that would be considered criminal. So if something is like that, please reach out to us. We'll help.
Yeah. Just to add to that, in this case, the guy was charged with a felony and he was actually arrested.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was arrested, kept in the jail, and then we had to go through like a lot of headaches to get it. Like, so just be cautious, especially with insurance companies, because all your calls are monitored, and that could also have an effect on your service. Yeah.
Right. So Santosh Garu, let me ask a couple of questions. So first thing is, many students who are in their final semester, within a month they will be graduating and their visa got terminated. So back in the days, many people who gets their visa terminated, they go to nearest border and re-enter with another I-20, either for the same university or they have to go for another university. But here we are talking about reinstatement, so they do not need to change any university.
No. They're not.
They can stick with the
it's
same
not about
university.
the university, right? Here the issue is about themselves, right? So they would use. They will get the I-20 from the same university and then apply for reinstatement. Yeah,
Same university.
apply for reinstatement, and they have to do it ASAP. Especially those people who are on OPTs are about to graduate.
Got it. And what is the process of reinstatement? Do they have to do it by themselves, or they have to get with
it's up to them. They have the option of doing it themselves also by using the form I-539. Then they have to clearly explain why they are not subject to inadmissibility criteria, and then file for reinstatement. Right? They have the option of doing themselves. They have to file the form I-539.
Understand.
Yeah.
But it's always better to go with an attorney.
Definitely better to go with an attorney if they can afford to.
Afford. Understand. And not only the students, but also people who got some domestic violence cases, like which got dismissed, like few years ago. They also got revocation
Same thing.
notices.
That's a problem, right? So even those even those whose case have been dismissed, right? The case has been dismissed because they did not find any guilt, right? Then they should not be charged with all this, right? So even those people are getting affected. Like, and then also there are a lot of exceptions available. For example, there's a petty theft exception available, right? Even for DUIs also, like you can still get your visa, right? They are not deportable or inadmissible just because they had one DUI, right? But all those students are also getting affected.
Yeah, so guys, I'm seeing a lot of comments regarding people are asking shoplifting, simple assault, things of that nature. So even domestic violence that was dismissed, if any charges, even if your charges were dismissed, unfortunately, they're revoking visas. So please check your service, check your visa, see if it's revoked. If it is, get certified copy of everything that was dismissed and stuff, and we will try our best to get this reinstated. Like Santosh Garu said, you can do it yourself. No one is stopping you. But of course, we recommend going with an attorney. I mean, I don't know. I would think your chances are much better.
Yeah. And there are another set of people who are saying that I do not have any charges on me. I do not have any violations. Still, I got revocation notice. How come this happened?
So maybe they have been, maybe there is a charge against them. Yeah. Or in this case, like sometimes what happens is maybe the person gets charged, he would not know about it, maybe because they change their address, right? Maybe there was a notice sent to that address, they're not appearing.
Sorry, a lot of people are asking if it's for H-1B visa holders. So right now, no. Okay, as of right now, it doesn't look like it. But from what the trend we're seeing, right? They're gonna start coming after everybody, up to even green card holders.
Right.
So you have time right now. Get your ducks in row, and reach out to us regarding your specific situation, and we will try to help as much as we can.
Right.
As I mentioned, right, reinstatement can be filed when the students can file themselves also. It's so basically they have to use the form I-539. There's an option for applying for reinstatement. Provide all your court documents, criminal record, and then file it. If you want your resource services, we'll be happy to help.
Awesome. So what is the success rate for reinstatement?
Well, in this case, I feel that we have a good it all depends upon the charge that they have been like they criminal charge, right? So most of these, I think we should be fine, especially with DUIs, petty theft offenses, and all those things, even domestic violence, and also in cases which got dismissed and all. Yes, we should be fine. But again, if somebody is being convicted of a felony, then yes, they are deportable. That is different.
All right.
Lot of people most of the students
asking,
they don't.
Where can I check? I'm sorry. A lot of people are asking where can I check if my service is active or not active. I'm sorry. I'm just trying to see. So you can go to your DSO officer, check with them, contact them. You can also go to FM. What do you call it? Check your I-90 to see if there's anything there. But your DSO officer is the main person to reach out to, email them so they can check the system to see if it's active, terminated, or completed status. If it shows completed status, then you're totally fine. If it's showing terminated, then it's something you need to start acting on it.
And also, not everybody is getting
what is the
affected
time frame?
They are doing it in
in intervals, right?
Yes.
So almost from couple weeks we are seeing this trend, but especially since last couple days, I think people are getting a lot.
Disaster.
Yeah, because we did a posting on it and we copied you guys. Reach out to
somebody. Guys, a lot of
so that's where you got a lot of traffic from
ticket, that. Red light, crossing the red light. No traffic offense. Not for traffic offense. Only for misdemeanors and felonies or anything like that. Not for traffic offense. So don't panic. If it's if you have oversped, it's okay. I've done it myself. I'm guilty of that as well. So not for traffic offense.
Mostly in cases where you have been fingerprinted, where you have been arrested or fingerprinted. That's where you have the issues.
Right.
I have a question for you. So, how can the state be sharing the records after it's been expunged?
So,
which is little alarming to me.
A lot of people think expunge means it's completely gone. Expunge, there's a threshold. Anytime you apply for, even if your case is, even if you petition for expungement and you've been granted expungement, that basically means state is going to shred your files. Your any record that they have electronically on their system is going to be cleaned. So anyone trying to access state records is going to be gone. However, whenever you're charged with a crime, your fingerprints are taken and a record is also sent to federal government. The federal government record stays. Okay. So let's say, for example, today I get a really nice job in government and I apply for a top security clearance. When I apply for top security clearance, even things that are expunged, they can access it. Okay. So expunged doesn't mean completely gone. Expunged means to a certain level, no one will see it. But when it comes to top security clearance, when it comes to, any sort of military things and things like that, they can see it. And when Department of State wants it, they'll be able to get it.
Got it. So every person have different scenario. It's tough to generalize. So if you are worried, please reach out to Somireddy Law Group. It's info@somireddylaw.com. And on top of it, if you say with reference to Melody Mocktail, they're gonna do even some discount for the students as well.
Just for you, Ravi.
Yeah. Team, also I want to everybody to be aware that it's a peak season, and we request you not to call the office. Instead, we request you to please email us. Okay, calling the board number continuously does not really help anyone, right? Instead, we request you to please email us so that we can create a proper case ID and start working on your case. We don't want to be just taking calls and without a proper record. Right, and it's hard for us to handle all those calls. So we request you to please email us.
Guys, I know some people are commenting, and I haven't been able to read all the comments, but any ones that I can see, I'll try. I'm trying to answer it. Someone asked, I have a DUI felony that was dismissed. Um, uh, take something about 30 days situation or something. This is a more specific situation. Reach out to us, will help. I'll answer generally. Okay, even if your case was dismissed, unfortunately, they're sending out those emails for revocation and terminating service, even if your matter was dismissed. So we would have, if check with your DSO, if your thing is terminated, if your status is terminated, then we will request that you get a certified copy of your dismissal order, and we will try our best. Santosh Garu will try his best to get his team to reinstate your status, because anyone whose case was dismissed, there is a way we can get around this. Okay, anyone who was found guilty and stuff, it'll be a little bit harder, but we can try. There's no guarantee.
So what if they get revocation notice and they are not exiting the country, but their work permit is active? They can work until their visa expiring?
So once their service is terminated, they cannot work on using their OPT or EAD or anything like that.
Not service. Even for
If
H1B,
the visa is revoked, there is no issue. You need visa only to enter into the country, right? Only if the status has been terminated is when the issue comes in. Okay, even until now for students also, right? Until now, the service is
Class B misdemeanor for speeding. So if it's a misdemeanor, it's criminal. It's not traffic. So every state is different. In Virginia, speeding is not a misdemeanor. Reckless driving, going above 20 miles, it's a speeding. So anything, if your document says you were charged with the misdemeanor and stuff like that, again, check with your DSO, check if your status is terminated. Even if your status is not terminated, but you were charged with a misdemeanor, act now, and let's see what we can do to get enrolled. Because it's not like they push a button and everybody gets it at one time. Some people are getting it today. Some people are getting notice tomorrow. It's a ripple effect, right? So even if your status is showing today that you're not terminated, you're activated, but you have been charged with a misdemeanor, felony, or whatever, even if it's dismissed, reach out to us so we can get everything in order. So if you do get it, if your status is terminated, then you don't waste a lot of time. Once you submit I think Santosh Garu can answer that better. Once we submit your reinstatement application, there is a certain period you can stay in the country until that response is received.
Denied. Yeah.
So you will not be out of status. Santosh Garu, please elaborate.
So they will not be accruing unlawful presence until when the application is still pending with USCIS. So, and in the meantime, if there is a court order saying that, hey, this is unconstitutional, then you're good. Right? They might reinstate everybody. But again, we don't know anything about what's going to happen. Right?
Okay. And reinstatement process, what is the timeline? Is there any timeline?
Now, it could, until now it's different. Now it could be different, right? Because they will be flooded with all these reinstatement applications now. Okay. But I think premium processing is still available for reinstatement. I need to just check it. Yeah.
Okay.
Premium processing is available. Just go for premium processing.
Okay.
Yeah, usually for change of status and all.
So can they stay while the application is in process? While the application is under processing,
they can stay here, but they cannot work.
Okay. And they cannot go to school also?
The school will not allow them to.
The school will not allow. Correct.
So better, I think, if premium processing is available, just go for premium processing.
Just for your information, you asked how long it's going to take for reinstatement. There are about 1,126,000 some students, international students in the United States. So let's say even 5% students, if their status is terminated, USCIS is going to be bombarded
50,000
with applications. So it's going to take some time. Plus, there will be some lawsuits coming down the pike because that's a lot of people being impacted. So it will take some time, but the goal is to make sure that you don't stay out of status in the country for too long. So once your application is in, Santosh Garu, I think they're good to go, right?
Yeah.
They're good to stay. Okay. All right, I think we're getting the same repeated questions. We can do an extended session on H1Bs probably this weekend if you are available.
Sure.
If not, we can find some other date. And thanks for your
Sure.
time, Zibran and
Of course,
Santosh Garu.
anytime. Anyone,
That's a great help for the
just
community.
anyone wants to reach
Yeah.
out to us, again, info@swamireddylaw.com, info@swamireddylaw.com. We're going to try to respond back to you as soon as possible. We're going to try to assist as much as we can. And Ravi, just for you, we're going to give you a little, your people a little discount. Because you're a handsome looking guy.
But
Sure,
see,
thank you.
I want every student who has been charged with any crime to at least keep their criminal records handy. Reach out to the courthouse, get a copy, a certified copy of their criminal records, keep it with you, just in case. Right? You need to have it either
Right.
your service gets terminated or not, because you might need it for your visa purposes in future. So
All right.
always keep a certified copy.
Someone said one last question. I want to answer that. Someone said visa is revoked, but service is active. Where service will be term. Okay, so if your visa is revoked, okay, again as we explained earlier, visa's purpose of visa is entering and exiting. Okay, but your service is active. You haven't received anything from your DOS, then you're fine. But chances are that since your visa is revoked, very likely soon you will receive an email saying that your service is terminated. I hope not, I really do, but it's highly likely. So get your ducks in row, get all your documents, whether your case was dismissed, even if you're found guilty. We can explain it and get everything ready. So if by any chance you receive something, you can act immediately. If you got anything out of this, there's one thing I would say is act. Don't just sit and think that, whatever. Act fast.
Act fast.
That's the only thing I would recommend. Whether you want to do it yourself, fine. Do it with another attorney, fine. If you want us to help you, reach out, and we'll try our best to help you. All right? Thank you all.
Thank you.
All right.
Sure.
Thank you,
Right.
Santosh Garu. Thank you,
Bye-bye.
Zibran.
Thank you.
We'll
Bye.
connect again.
Bye, everyone.
Bye. Take care.